Hi, I'm Audrey. I'm 8 years old, the youngest of 4. Clearly, having a family of 6 with a second grader, 8th grader, junior, and a freshman in college, you can imagine my family's pretty busy. Having to coordinate 6 completely different schedules, I basically have my every single day planned out for me, so I'm not expecting anything in my life changing in the near future. In fact, less than a year ago, as I was sitting at the kitchen table doing my homework before I went and played outside, I said, "Hey Mom, are we ever going to move? Because I don't want to." Of course, her answer was, "No, we're not moving, but if God has a different plan, that's what we'll follow." I took this answer as any first grader would, and I threw it to the side, assuming, of course we're not moving, Mom is just saying that. So now I'm 8 again, just going on with lifelong division and listening to the wise words of Hannah Montana, "Life's what you make it, so let's make it rock." This, of course, was my life motto at the time, because if life's what I want to make it, I want it to rock, right? So now I'm 15 again, just going on in high school, surrounded by negativity, and I realized how true my life motto really was. I'm constantly surrounded by negativity, and I have to have resilience. So, one definition of resilience that I found was the ability of a system to return to an equilibrium state after a temporary disturbance. The less it fluctuates, and the faster it returns, the more stable it would be. So, this definition uses the word system. It could have easily said living organism or person or anything, but it said system. So as I thought about the word system, I thought of a bunch of different types of systems. There are ecosystems and organ systems and computer systems. A question I repeated in my head over and over was, how can all of these non-living things or systems be able to bounce back and reach this so-called equilibrium again? Well, organ systems have antibodies to fight off disease, ecosystems work together to restore plant and animal life, and computer systems usually just have to be turned on and off again, and then they work just fine. But that's a different story. According to this specific definition, in our body being a mess of intricate and complex systems, shouldn't we as humans be able to bounce back and reach this equilibrium again? Resilience, the ability to bounce back. It just depends on the effort that you put forth. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the term self-efficacy, because I sure didn't until about 3 weeks ago. Self-efficacy is the belief in yourself to complete a specific task using your capabilities. So, this concept of self-efficacy has 3 essential parts. There's effort exerted, the influence on people with stress and anxiety, and the ability to predict coping and performance behavior. So, when we predict coping behavior based on the belief that we have in ourselves, then we can overcome any obstacle life throws at us. When we exert the effort to bounce back and stay resilient, then life will be easy. So, daily people struggle with stress, at least I do. I stress about waking up on time and getting to places on time. I stress about a lot of things. You may not realize it, but stress has more effects on you than just stress itself. In America, it has been proven that stress can increase mood disorders, cause metabolic syndrome, and put a lot of pressure on an individual to succeed. When all of this pressure is placed on us, we tend to plan our lives out exactly how we think it should be. We're just setting ourselves up for failure, because whenever we have this perfectly planned life of ours, change is going to be really hard, and I learned that when I was 8. So back to being 8, you recall my mom telling me we're not moving? Well, it turns out in the next school year, also known as 3rd grade, my life is going to be flipped upside down like a pancake. Basically, I'll finish my 3rd grade year at the school that I've always known, then move to who knows where. This was a really scary thought, because I never realized in this perfectly planned life of mine anything of the sorts would happen. I felt like I had no power as to how my life was going to go, and I was just really scared. So soon enough, the end of 3rd grade came, and I said so long to my life in South Austin. Turns out I only moved 35 minutes away to some 4A district called Lake Travis. I moved into my new house and met new friends and my new teacher, and I hated the idea of moving. But I can't imagine my life going any other way. If I wouldn't have moved, I wouldn't have the experience of putting myself out there to make new friends or being resilient. I learned to be resilient, and there's many positives that I've come to learn. So, many positives of resilience that there are you have less effects from stress, you learn that when you dwell on the past, it hides future connections we may have, and you can learn to bounce back. Just like when I was 8, the future may not have been entirely in my hands, but I used my actions then to build a positive future for now. So I challenge you to bounce back. I challenge you to react to negative situations positively, and I challenge you to remember that if you're always looking backwards, you're never going to be able to see where you're going. Thank you.